Sam Darnold is 28 years old on his fifth NFL team, and, brace yourself, he's finally playing the best football of his life. After 7 games this season, Darnold has stacked up. Strong completion rate, yards per attempt up, touchdowns high, interceptions low, and he's doing it with a rookie head coach, an average offensive line, and a receiving group of Jackson Smith-Njigba and Cooper Kupp. His efficiency metrics? Among the best in the league. Yet, when you scan the lists of top quarterbacks, or elite passer chatter, his name barely gets a second glance. What the heck is going on with Sam Darnold? More importantly, why is the league still sleeping on a guy who's finally showing why he was a top 3 pick? Before we continue, if you enjoy this content, please like and subscribe to the channel. Now let's dive in. Let's rewind to where this all started. The 2018 NFL Draft. Darnold, the golden boy from USC, is taken 3rd overall by the New York Jets. He's supposed to be the savior, the guy who finally ends the Jets' decades-long quarterback curse. He's got the arm, the size, the mobility, and the California cool that makes scouts drool. The Jets fan base is cautiously optimistic, which is about as optimistic as Jets fans get. But then, reality hits. Darnold is thrown into the fire with a roster that would make a CFL team blush. His rookie year, 17 touchdowns, 15 picks, and a 4-9 record as a starter. The next 2 years, more of the same. He's sacked over 90 times in 3 seasons, finished with the lowest passer rating, 78.6, among 30-plus game starters for the Jets since 2000, and is coached by Adam Gase, who somehow made Peyton Manning look like a system quarterback and then made everyone else look like they'd never played football before. By 2021, the Jets have seen enough. They trade Darnold to the Carolina Panthers for a bag of footballs and draft picks. In Carolina, Darnold flashes early. He starts 3-0, even leads the league in rushing touchdowns. But then the wheels fall off. Injuries, turnovers, and a coaching staff that can't decide if they want to run the ball, pass the ball, or just punt on first down. Darnold is benched, then reinserted, then benched again. The Panthers move on. Next stop, San Francisco. Darnold signs a 1-year deal to back up Brock Purdy. He gets a few garbage time snaps, but mostly he's holding a clipboard and learning from Kyle Shanahan, the quarterback whisperer. He's a forgotten man, a trivia answer, a what could have been. In 2024, Darnold signed on a 1-year deal worth around $10 million and took over as the Vikings' starting quarterback after rookie J.J. McCarthy was injured in the preseason. He delivered career-best numbers, 4,319 passing yards, 35 touchdowns, and only 12 interceptions. Darnold completed 66.2% of his passes and achieved a passer rating of 102.5, by far the best single-season mark of his career. He led the Vikings to a 14-3 regular season record, the most wins by a quarterback in his first year with the team since 1950. He earned recognition, named the NFL's Most Improved Player for 2024. Despite the strong regular season, the Vikings' year ended in disappointment. A wild-card loss to the Los Angeles Rams where Darnold was sacked 9 times and threw an interception. The Vikings reportedly chose not to apply the franchise tag for Darnold even after his breakout season, indicating some unresolved questions about long-term fit. That season served as proof of concept for Darnold. He showed he can perform, in the right system, surrounded by good pieces. The improvement is big, from prior injury-plagued and inconsistent years to a high-level performance with Minnesota. But he still needs to show sustained playoff success and convince decision-makers that the breakout wasn't a one-off. Then, in 2025, the Seattle Seahawks come calling and signs him to a 3-year, $100.5 million deal. Big move, big signal. He arrives in a new system under OC Clint Kubiak, who has prior experience with him. Mike Macdonald is the rookie head coach with all the defensive pedigree in the world, but he needs a steady hand at quarterback. The Seahawks need a guy who's seen it all and still has the arm to make every throw. Darnold wins the job in camp, and suddenly he's back in the spotlight. Now let's dive into the numbers, because the data is where Darnold's case starts to pop. As of 7 games for the Seahawks in 2025, passing yards, 1,754 yards. Completion percentage, 68.2%. Yards per attempt, around 9.1 yards per attempt. That's high. Touchdown to interception ratio, 12 touchdowns to 4 interceptions. QBR, 72.5 is league top 6 for the season so far. Let's put some color on that. In Week 5, he went 28 of 34 for 341 yards and 4 touchdowns. And in Week 6 versus the Jaguars, he threw for 295 yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions in a 20-12 win. So yeah, his recent games are strong. He's also completing a heavy share of passes that go deep, or at least targeting downfield at a higher rate. For example, his passing chart versus the Saints featured 6 of 8 throws over 10-plus yards in the air for big yardage. He's on pace for over 4,200 yards, 29 touchdowns, and 10 interceptions. That's not just good for Darnold, that's good for anyone. If he keeps this up, he'll be in the most valuable player conversation, and the Seahawks will be in the playoff hunt. So the question becomes, if the numbers are this good, why is the league sleeping on him? Okay, let's drill into why, despite these numbers, Darnold still doesn't feel talked about in the same breath as the big names. Here are the reasons Darnold is not mentioned in any top quarterback discussions. The early career baggage. Being a top 3 pick with early career disappointments sticks in people's minds. Remember the guy who couldn't make it work in New York or Carolina? That narrative takes years to shake. Media and front offices often anchor on earlier failures. Even when the player improves, the filter is still tinted. Smallish recent sample, sort of. Yes, he's performing in 2025, but for many analysts, the question is, can he sustain it? A guy who had one huge season in 2024 with Minnesota and now 7 good games? Some say, still risk. The after 7 games tag matters. We want to be convinced past the halfway point first. Supporting cast and system perception. Seattle's offense is in transition. Their running game has been shaky at times. The big star receiver group isn't exactly the old flame. The receiving group, the rookie breakout Jackson Smith-Njigba is great, but veteran stability? Besides Cooper Kupp, a lot of gray areas. Some in league circles may say he's doing good with fewer resources, but we'll wait to see how he does when everything's stacked against him. Narrative and media saturation. The league tends to hype dual-threat quarterbacks, or guys with big arm strength, or star destination teams. Darnold is more measured, strong passer, but not necessarily the wow flashy dual threat, so he doesn't capture the same social media, looks like a future superstar shine. Contract and financial structure and risk perception. His contract has a big number, but also an escape clause for Seattle. That can send a mixed signal. They believe in him, but also hedged. Organizations talk, other orgs listen. The narrative, if he fails, we can cut ties. Even subconsciously, that affects top-tier versus second-tier status. All that adds up. League watchers and analysts are maybe still in the wait-and-see mode when it comes to Darnold. But as his numbers show, wait may be getting risky. Now for the flip side, why you should be waking up to Sam Darnold, and why the league should be too. Because frankly, the case is compelling. Elite efficiency metrics. Yards per attempt is 9.1, which is very strong. Yards per attempt is one of those stats that correlates with quality quarterback play. You're not just scrambling for short dink dunks. Completion rate over 68% through 7 games? That's consistent and disciplined. Touchdown/interception ratio is leaning the right way. Low turnovers matter. QBR 72.5, meaning he's registering production, not just volume. So if you're a coach, scout, general manager, hey, he's efficient. That matters. Supporting cast, getting better, and fit improving. Jackson Smith-Njigba is breaking out. As of Week 7, he leads the league in receiving yards and explosive plays. That gives Darnold a dangerous weapon. Cooper Kupp joined Seattle this offseason, a veteran receiver who can elevate a quarterback. And yes, his body has had issues, but if healthy, veteran savvy counts. Offensive coordinator Clint Kubiak has prior experience with Darnold in Minnesota. That familiarity counts when a quarterback gets a reset. The system is trending toward more downfield throws, which fits Darnold's strengths. His passing chart versus Saints, 6 of 8 downfield for big yardage. Precedent of breakout and reestablishment. In 2024, he proved he can put up big numbers. 4,319 yards, 35 touchdowns with Minnesota. That season changed the narrative for him from hopeful to capable. Now in 2025, he's carrying that momentum. So you don't have a guy making a one-game jump, you have someone building. For the league, if you ignore him now, you risk being late to the party. Undervalued in hype, value opportunity. Because he isn't getting full hype, he might be undervalued in narratives, fantasy leagues. For you as a fan or analyst, pointing that out gives you credibility. If he continues to perform, the undervaluation means greater upside. Narrative and redemption appeal. People like redemption stories. The guy who had the early bust label now rising. That adds human interest. For the league, fans, media, that's marketable. So yes, the statistical case is strong. The supporting cast and scheme seem aligned. The time to give him credit is now, not later. For full transparency, no player is perfect. Even Sam Darnold has risk factors, things the league will and should still watch. If he wants to fully bypass the sleeping label, he needs to address some of these. Consistent week-to-week performance. He's delivered some big games, but the title after 7 games still means we care about the dips. Can he avoid those bad weeks? For example, in Week 1, he threw for 150 yards and 0 touchdowns in a 17-13 loss. You don't want too many of those. If 1 or 2 off weeks sneak in, analysts will remind everyone of his early career inconsistencies. Injury, durability, supporting cast health. Kupp's a veteran with injury history. The running game in Seattle hasn't yet been dominant. If the running backs and offensive line play falter, Darnold has more burden. If the offensive line starts getting beat for sacks and hits, his efficiency could drop. Seattle's offense still has evolving elements, big game and high-pressure success. Some quarterbacks earn respect by winning playoff games, performing under heat. Darnold's past does have playoff loss baggage with Minnesota against the Rams. The league, scouts, front offices pay special attention to, can he win when everything's on the line? Big game proof will accelerate perception shift. Supporting cast still developing. While Jackson Smith-Njigba is breaking out, he's still young. The receiving core beyond him and Kupp may not yet strike fear. If defenses key heavily on Smith-Njigba or the run, Darnold might face tougher looks. Seattle's ground game still needs to consistently relieve pressure. If the run fails, defenses might tee off pass rush on Darnold. Narrative hangover doesn't disappear. Overnight, the early career baggage will fade only when output is sustained at a high level and the team succeeds. If he peaks, but the team doesn't win, the "was it 1 year?" question remains. So the league is watching. They just want confirmation. Darnold's doing a lot of the right things, but the next phase will decide whether the sleep label is fully lifted. Okay, so what's the playbook here? What do Seattle and the league need to do or allow for Darnold to get fully recognized? For Seattle, they need to the following. Keep building around him. Improve the run game balance, ensure the offensive line holds up, add another receiver threat beyond Smith-Njigba, and Kupp for better offensive balance. Leverage Darnold's strengths. He's throwing deep more efficiently. Tailor the offense to that rather than make him force short sacks. Stay consistent with coaching and scheme. Stability helps a quarterback. Kubiak's familiarity is a plus. The team should let that continuity ride. Playoff focus. If Seattle can win in January, the narrative will shift fast. Win when it matters, and you stop being undervalued. If all goes right, Darnold could shift from quietly good to unignorable, and teams that dismiss him early might regret the wake-up call. Let's play the what-if game, because Darnold's career is full of them. What if he'd been drafted by a stable franchise? What if he'd had a real offensive line in New York? What if he'd avoided the injuries and the coaching carousel? Darnold's career was defined by bad luck and bad timing. He was good enough to be a franchise quarterback, but the stars never aligned. That's not entirely his fault. So, why is the league sleeping on Sam Darnold? Because he's not the flashy pick. Because he's not playing in a big market. Because he's not surrounded by Pro Bowlers. Because he's been written off as a bust. But here's the truth. Darnold is quietly putting together one of the best comeback stories in the NFL, and he's doing it the hard way. The league won't be sleeping for long. If Darnold keeps this up, the Seahawks will be back in the playoff hunt, and the rest of the NFL will have to deal with another redemption arc. And if you're a defensive coordinator, you might want to start watching a little more USC tape, because this kid is coming for you. What do you think? Is Sam Darnold the real deal, or is this just another hot start? Are the Seahawks back, or is this just a mirage? Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. See you in the next one.